Can you talk about Trevor for a minute? This is how he phrased the question. How would you describe Trevor to a person who was worried that he would be an axe murderer?
Don't give up that worry just yet.
Okay, I also had the is Trevor an axe murderer question. And I want to let you know that he is not.
100%, like, I'm not even, there's no doubt about that in my mind. I don't know if I'm gonna go home alive tomorrow.
I felt like I was taking a big chance coming up to Greensboro, Vermont, to work with someone I've never met, who is close to my age, but will be my teacher. And so I was hesitant, and I have been so immensely grateful for Trevor. I have learned so much from him in actor training, in wilderness training, and just in our social interactions. He's a really unique individual. He is uncompromising in his beliefs and is one of the few people I know that really follows through on his philosophy. And this place is his philosophy in action, and that is so beautiful to see. That also sounded really culty, and that is something I was very hesitant of, but this is not like that.
Trevor, how do you describe Trevor? He is a mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in like tinfoil. He just like, he's the one with the most layers, and he just has the best poker face. He does this thing with his eyebrow that I can't even, like, it just like cocks like this, and you're just like, you're not giving away anything. I'm never playing poker with you. I will lose all of my money. But his intentions come through so strongly, and the care that he gives in everything he does is just amazing. Especially when we do the martial arts. I feel like I see more of Trevor in that than I have actually speaking to him, which is so interesting. He just, when people get it right, he beams. His face lights up, and you share in that excitement because you know that he's rooting for you, and he's just there to be your support, even though he may not express it.
Trevor, he's funny. He doesn't like to tell us what we're doing, which is hilarious. But he's really great. It's very wonderful being on Barr Hill because him and his family has grown up here for generations. So in addition to what he can offer us as an acting teacher, which I can get more into, it's really wonderful to hear like the old tales of the land and the families around here. We were lucky enough to go into town a little bit. And to just hear all of his stories, really, of him growing up here, it makes this place mean more to us. You can pick up on that sentimentality, even not being native to Barr Hill or anything. And as far as an instructor goes, I think he's really wonderful at being non-judgmental and supportive without it being a good job at everything. I feel very supportive. I feel very much like he's my peer leading me, which is really nice.
Trevor? Yeah. First, let me begin. No, he's the perfect balance between discipline, sympathy, encouragement, and love. In general. I've never felt like the discipline overtook his persona. I never felt like his persona was torn away in any, I don't know how to explain it. Can I restart for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Cut. And Trevor, you say.
Hearing it for the first time.
So Trevor, yeah, he's, as I was saying, I believe he's the perfect balance between discipline and your friend, and a person that will have the answers for you, or might not have the answers for you because he's seeking for you to discover them yourself. I was saying the first night to Adam, he was right next to me, he makes it into a movie almost. I remember walking the first night into the breath work, and we were all quiet, and we were walking through the field, and we're all with our sleeping bags or like our towels, and we're walking to like this situation, and it feels almost like a movie. He created a journey for us in which we discover ourselves little by little, and he never releases too much information. It's the necessary amount, the amount that will keep us intrigued in our toes, and it's been very fun working with him. It's been very fulfilling, and I really appreciate the balance between discipline and love that he has provided.
I like to tease Trevor, but really he's a fantastic teacher. He's very calm, very peaceful, and he's a good role model for all of us doing this tough physical work, because he is not macho about it. He doesn't try to bully us into doing the exercise. He kind of leads by example and really shows us that it's about the group and it's about supporting each other.
Trevor is an interesting guy, having known him for a year now. It'll start out with an interview, whether on the phone or on Skype, and he'll be holding his mug of tea, and he'll look super comfortable and a very nice person. And then you'll get to meet him, and he's a ball of mystery, but in a very exciting way. And he definitely is a very loving, very understanding human being who obviously will not force you to do anything that you're uncomfortable with, but will encourage you and be supportive on your journey to, trying out some things that, you might not be, the most like gung-ho about, per se. But he always says he wouldn't have you do anything that is impossible. And sometimes it'll feel like once you're done with some of the activities, some of the events that you're doing here on Barr Hill, you realize like, wow, I did what I thought was impossible. And I just made the impossible possible. So Trevor is that kind of guy who will get you through even when you think you're not going to be able to.
He is a very serious and dedicated and passionate artist who really likes to convey that and share that with the people that come here to Barr Hill Players, but he can also have a lot of fun when you pull it out of him, and that is a really rewarding experience throughout the week as well.
Trevor is a really kind and patient teacher, and something he stressed throughout this past week was his taking a step back and letting us do the work and letting us form the community. The only place where he really takes the rein, besides in the structure of the program, is when he's actively teaching us something. But then otherwise, he is more of a...
Also just as a person, he's a wonderful person. And I feel very validated and supported by him throughout everything that we do. And he gives amazing feedback, very, very specific, very direct towards what we need, and I know for me that's helped me grow so much.
Trevor is very good at setting up an environment that will help you in ways that you didn't know you needed help. He's very strong in his convictions, and I think that's one of the things that helps you kind of trust him and trust the process. And the whole thing has really made it so that it is a completely safe environment where you can just feel free to do anything or be who you want to be.
When I think of Trevor, I think of our martial arts exercises and everything he was able to convey without a single word. He's a great teacher. And you're a great teacher. It's tough to put that into words, but we just I know I felt wholly comfortable with you guys and what you had to impart. because there was this level of, like, you guys were very open and friendly, but there was still this understanding that, you know, we were here to glean stuff from you guys, you know. And Trevor's, it's tough for me to talk about. He's just awesome, and you're awesome. But the martial arts stuff I already enjoyed, and it was just, I've never been taught in a silent way before. So I really liked that. And he, you know, just direct in his method of teaching, but not overbearing. Not in a way that one thing I had always been a little timid about with going to classes or workshops or camps was that need to feel like you got to please somebody, like, oh, you're my superior, I'm not doing what I'm doing for me, I'm doing it to make you happy. And you had none of that here with either of you guys, none of that. I felt like it was equal playing field. And I kind of had that inclination it would be like that from our first interview, because he was really genuinely curious about what everybody could bring to the table.
I think if it had been any other people besides Trevor and Kat, it would have been a whole different experience. But to have two people who want what's best for you and can give you such a safe place to be whatever, to find out who you are, even more importantly, because I found out things about myself that I had no idea. It was so liberating. I don't think it would have been possible otherwise.
He loves keeping secrets. He loves shrouding us in an air of mystery. But he is an immensely learned and grounded and compassionate teacher. I had a realization today that he almost never leads by example. He leads by simple instruction and kind of allows us to find our own way into the rhythm of things, which I think is really beautiful. He has a gravity and a weight and a wise beyond his years sort of thing, which I think just living out here in the nature tends to do that to a person. It grounds and roots you. He's firm. He's not a hard ass. He's encouraging, but he's not. He doesn't tell you just what you want to hear. And he pushes you to where he sees potential, but he never offers sort of his solutions as solutions, which I think is really beautiful. Teachers can sometimes have a tendency to prescribe what they think a student needs, and Trevor will always say, I don't know if this is gonna solve it for you, but I hope that it's helpful. So compassionate, firm, knowledgeable, rootsy. Yeah, wonderful. He's so kind, yeah.
He's been kind enough to share this place with us that does so much teaching.